Hey, it's DJ Fix here, and welcome to my Zen with DJ Fix challenge. We've got Casey from Zen Hot Yoga World, who's going to be taking us through our practice. This is to help us mentally and physically, and today's practice is all about women are warriors.
That's it. It's always better to sit onto a block just to make it a little bit comfortable, especially if you have tight hips. So really just come onto the block. If you don't have a block at home, you're more than welcome to use a thick block. Anything that will just prop you up and give you a little bit of height. You want to find your sit bones, those bones that you're sitting on, your buttocks, really at the edge. So you're kind of hanging off your block, about to slide off your block. If you have a strap handy for maybe you may need it later on in your practice. Otherwise, you can also just use a towel. So whatever's easiest for you, don't have to stress about props, just let it be for now. Allow the knees to really flop out towards the side. And I like palms face up if you enjoy the energy around you. And sometimes if you're just having a hard day, if you're doing this in the evening after a long day's of work, maybe have your palms down so that you can just ground yourself and find yourself to be. Close your eyes and just start to breathe. You're going to find deep inhalations and exhales. Really root down through your sit bones into the block or onto the mat and lengthen through the crown of your head at the same time. So really a tall, long spine. We're going to work with breathing. We call it pranayama. We're going to do a very simple one, which is just an equal breath, where your inhales and your exhales are the same count. We're going to start off with an easy count of 4. And if it's too much for you, you're more than welcome to take it down to 3. So don't get boggled down by the numbers, just see where you are at. And if that's easy for you, by all means, you can take it up to a 5 count. Deep inhale to prepare, and exhale to prepare. Your next inhale breath, you will start. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 'Out. See if you can take it 1 count higher. If you can't, just stay exactly where you are at. In. Out. I'm going to ask Fix to continue with the breathing, and I just want you to know that breath is not anything that you're forcing. So if it's starting to strain, just take it 1 count down. The intention is really to allow you to control your breath, to bring your parasympathetic system active, and to really just calm your mind. So let everything else go. If there are any thoughts that come into your mind, acknowledge them. Let them go for now. Let this next 15 to 20 minutes to just be about you. You doing this for you and no one else. And once you finish your last exhale, of whichever count you are working with, just allow the breath to return to normal. Blink your eyes to a half gaze, adjust to the light, and open your eyes fully. Release your legs. It might feel a little bit of pins and needles now. And reach them out towards the side, shake them out. And you're going to find yourselves onto your hands and onto your knees, come into a block position underneath you when you're ready. So from here, hands underneath shoulders and knees hip distance away from one another. So move anything you don't need out of the way and just be here. So let's set up and be comfortable here. Your hands are always your foundations in the poses, so I want you to really open up into your hands and actively grip into the mat. It's as if it's wet sand and you really want to grip into it. So it's really a start for a setup of your foundation. If you have a look at fixed knees, they're just about a hip distance away from one another. If you look in between your inner thighs, so fix, have a look, can you see your calves, ankles and feet? If you can see them, that means they're not in a line, so make sure that they're hiding directly behind your thighs to be able to find your alignment. We're going to come into our cat and our cow pose just to warm up the spine. You're going to take a deep inhale, really arch into your spine, take the belly button down in towards the mat, that's it, and lengthen to the front body. Now I want you to push yourself away from the mat and lengthen out through your chest. So really push yourself away from the mat and reach up. As you exhale, doma, round into the spine. You'll see fixed spine here is really domed. It's stretching up and away like a cat. Come back into your cow, arch into your spine again once more. Gaze up. And start to find this coordination of movement and breath. Exhale, doma. Round, really push yourself away from the mat a little bit more and slowly bring yourself into a neutral spine and back into a flat spine. You're going to slowly walk your hands away from you. The thighs, hips are stacked. Walk your hands all the way, so without moving the spine, without moving the thighs back at all or forward. Open your hands a little bit wider, so create enough space for shoulders in case they're tight. And as you exhale, I want you to melt your heart down in towards the mat. That's it. This is your extended cat. Some people call it a puppy pose. I want you to really root down through both armpits and just breathe here. You can gaze down towards the mat, or if it's comfortable, you can take your chin onto the mat and gaze in between your hands. And just really breathe here. Deep inhales through your nose and out through your nose. Start to walk your hands back underneath you. Walk it back underneath your shoulders. We're going to come to the infamous downward facing dog. So you're going to start by tuck your toes under. And you're going to slowly take a deep inhale and start to hover your knees above the mat. And as you exhale, I want you to push your chest back in towards your thighs and up at the same time. Send your tailbone up and in towards the ceiling. That's it. So again, hands are foundation, so spread through the fingertips and grip into the mat. So you may find it's a little bit tiring already, that's okay. Come out and just rest if you need to. The shoulders are moving the biceps out and around to the triceps. So we really protract and protect into the shoulder joints. Breathe. Deep inhales through your nose and out through your nose. Your fixed spine is all the way up to the tailbone, and send the back of the legs all the way down. So find long lines of energy. And just breathe here. As you become stronger, this becomes a resting pose. It might feel like a lot of work right now. Really hug the elbows in towards one another. That's okay. Just go with it. Build it up 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time as you condition your body. Slowly start to bring your knees down in towards the mat and come back into your block position. We're going to do the downward facing dog again 1 more time. Take a deep inhale through your nose, wrap your biceps outside towards your tricep, that's it. Elbows in towards one another. And as you exhale, come back into your down dog. Tuck your toes under. Send your tailbone up towards the ceiling as you connect chest in towards thighs and thighs down towards the feet. Lengthen all the way down. See if you can open up the back of your thighs, knees, calves a little bit more. And I want you to paddle the feet out this time. Get a little bit more movement here into your pose. Bring stillness again once again into your down dog. Slowly look up in between your hands and gently walk your feet in towards the hands, towards the front of your mat. Beautiful, and do well, thanks. And I want you to just hang here for now. Hold on to your opposite elbows. That's it. And I want you to just allow gravity to do the work. So let's shift the weight into our toes. Don't hang out onto your heels. So Fix is resisting me. She can already feel it in her hamstrings, I can see. And just lengthen all the way down in towards the spine. So often we bring our head up. I want you to really relax the crown of the head down. So there's no need to bring more tension. We've got enough stress every day. So just let the shoulder, the neck area go. And just really breathe here. Bend into your knees. Release your opposite elbows and slowly roll out one vertebra at a time until you come back into your standing position. How are we doing, Fix? Woo! Right. Right, I'm going to talk you through it and I'll give you options for it as well. You're going to inhale, reach your hands up towards the ceiling. So bring the palms of your hands together as you reach your hands up. Find a long spine again, so try not to arch into your back, rather tuck your tailbone slightly down. That's it, beautiful. And as you exhale, I want you to just bring your hands all the way down towards the mat. If you can't reach, don't get worried. Just bend into your knees and have your torso onto your thighs. So I'm going to bring Fix out. She's just going to roll out vertebra by vertebra. She bend into her knees. So don't lock your knees. Keep it slightly soft. And roll out vertebra by vertebra back to your standing position. So Fix, turn around to face the viewers. So you're going to come into your tree pose. So we're going to find ourselves in a stable standing position. So bring big toes together. Feet, heels are slightly apart. So the outer edges of the feet, that's it. We'll be parallel towards the edges of the mat. So really actively root down. These are your roots into the ground, so find your foundation. You're going to activate, take all 10 toes up and off the mat and root them down. That's it. And you're going to tuck your tailbone, pull kneecaps up. So I want you to feel your quads are activated. So take your hands towards your thighs, relax the kneecaps, pull them up. Can you feel that the muscles pushing against your hands? Yeah. That's it. And you're going to slowly lengthen through your spine, shoulders up towards your ears, and try and touch your knees. So release down and away from your ears, no bunching up into your neck, shoulders. Shift your weight into your left leg and you're going to release your right leg. You're going to gently bring your right toes towards your inner left ankle, sole of the foot towards the inner ankle. That's it. If you have your balance here, you can take it up towards the calf. And one more step further, if you're flexible and you're comfortable here, you're going to take it towards your inner left thigh. So again, do not do anything to injure the joints, so it'll always be above or below the knee. So if you're on the knee, then I'd rather prefer you to take it down. So do not injure the joints. Be very careful with it and respect your body. It carries you every single day, so look after it. Hands in that heart center for now. Just if you're struggling, that's okay. See, Fix is human after all. Just find your focal point, gaze down towards something still or straight ahead towards something still. Tuck your tailbone so that you engage into your core. So that's what we use to support us. And just breathe here. You can reach your hands up. If this is stable for you, you don't want to move, you don't need to. That's it. Find a long spine, reach up as if you are a tree. The branches are lengthening and opening out, but the roots are deep into the ground. And slowly release, bring it back down to center, and release your right leg. We're going to take it towards the other side, so come back into your mountain pose Tadasana. And this time shift your weight into your right leg. Make sure your legs are still active. Lift your left heel up and take the sole of the foot towards the ankle or towards your calf or above the knee into your thigh. So don't stand on the knee joint. Again, hand first, let's start at heart center. Open your left knee towards the person behind you so that you want to open up into your hip flexor without turning the hips. That's it. Keep the hips still, face the same direction, but just open the knee out. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling. And open your hands into a tree, a wide, growing, flourishing tree. Ooh. It's okay. Happens to everyone. And slowly bring your hands back to heart center. I'd like to say you're special because you fell out, but I'm afraid not. And slowly bring yourself all the way back down onto your mat. We're just going to relax into it. And your Shavasana at the end of the mat, we call it, is your relaxation. So it's important to really just allow the body to absorb everything that you have done in your practice. So come flat onto your back. We're just going to relax. Make sure that your arch of your back is flat. So tuck your tailbone under, lift buttocks up, tuck your tailbone under, and just let your legs relax out towards the side. Let them flop out. And hands, palms face up. And just really give enough space for your ears and shoulder. And this is your Shavasana pose, your relaxation at the end of your practice. You can stay as long as you like here. Usually take about 5 to 10 minutes for your relaxation and just make sure that you really absorb the delicious energy that you have created in your practice. Well done everyone, and bring yourself out. When you're ready, come into a seated position. I'm going to bring Fix out now. Slowly bring your hands above your head. So stay back. Just eager to come out. And just get yourself a big stretch. Fingertips through to toe tips, legs together. And gently bring your knees in towards your chest. Turn over towards your right hand side. Unfortunately, she's going to have her back towards you, but go onto your right hand side. Just to suppress our sympathetic system. And gently she's going to push herself up into a comfortable seated position, and she's going to face you again once more. How do you feel?
That was intense. And I did a lot of things wrong.
That's okay. That's part of the practice. We all start somewhere. So you learn, you practice, and you keep going. Stay on your mat.
And feel strong afterwards. And I really do feel strong.
Excellent.
Thank you, Casey.
Pleasure.
And namaste to you.
Namaste, guys.